Y'all fell into my master plan. Now, so this video is going to be me talking about my last video. Me saying that Iron Galaxy were just lazy, which I'm still going to hold that standpoint because I believe in whatever I was saying. But I want to go through some comments and talk about the whole topic because there's a lot that you guys were saying. I knew this video was going to cause a storm. I knew it. But I want to hear what you guys think. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to start a conversation. I know, I was whining. But hey, that's what a ranting video is for me anyways. I feel like a ranting video is someone whining about a specific topic, and that's what I was doing. I said it from the get-go, and here we go. Let's begin. A lot of the video was me comparing one person, Basti, the person that made the thps Pro mod for 3 and 4, to Iron Galaxy, and how this dude in 1 month was able to make a lot of goals work, while Iron Galaxy just took the easy way out and just did the Pro Skater 3 kind of goals, where it's 2-minute timer, you got all these goals to do, and the whatever map for Pro Skater 4 maps. But here's what you guys have to say about this, because I want to hear what you guys think about this. Joey Park Hill says, at what point do we stop blaming the Iron Galaxy devs for working with a bare bones budget, and we can start blaming Activision for their greedy incompetence? I agree that it's on Activision. It really is. So I do put blame on Activision, but I really put it in the blame for them. Yes, they have some, I'm sure, some unreasonable expectations from the devs, but I also believe that they chose the wrong dev studio for this. That's what I believe. Joey continues to say, for the record, Pro Skater 3 and 4 isn't bad, like some nostalgia-blinded lunatics say, because if you want to talk about bad games published by Activision, I dare you to Google the 1998 PC game Extreme Boards and Blades and tell me thps 3 and 4 is still incompetently designed. I don't think I have to play a game from 1998 to think that this game that I really love, the Tony Hawk's games, I don't think that this game, Pro Skater 3 and 4, I don't think I have to play that to compare it to this, because I still think that this is a pretty bad game. Now, I believe shouldn't change your opinion. You should hold on to the opinion you have. If you like the game, great, cool. I want people to like it, but I personally don't, and I'm expressing what I think about this. I want to go ahead and bring this over to the different games that Iron Galaxy made, because most of the things that Iron Galaxy has worked on are mainly just ports. Throughout a lot of their career is mainly just ports, but the games that they did put out, I want to go through a lot of these reviews because I want to see, like, to showcase why I think this was the wrong studio to do this with. They have a few games that they have put out that aren't just ports. Like we have Racketeer here, which is a lot of mixed reviews, a lot of 6 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s, some 7 and 8s, but mostly 6 and 5s. Dive Kick, which this reviewed a lot better, a lot of 7, 8s, 9s, mainly 7s and some 9s here. But then they were brought on board to do some Killer Instinct. You know, the reboot, they did season 2 and 3, but they had their own game here called Extinction, and it bombed. If you look at these reviews, a lot of 50s, a lot of 5 out of 10s, 4 out of 10s, some 6 out of 10s. But then we go down to Rumbleverse. In a short little bit, the game was shut off. I don't actually know what the reception was because I'm not really finding a lot of that on here, but on Wikipedia. But that was a game they worked on. They then were brought on to do some 3 and 4. Pro Skater 3 and 4, this is where we are now. And as you can see, a lot of these critics love the game. Awesome. I like that they like the game. I don't have a problem with that. It's my opinion versus everybody else's. So, I may be the contrarian when it comes to a lot of these reviews, but if you hear in the community itself, a lot of it is very mixed. Very mixed. So, either people love it, like it, or hate it. The more that I play this game, the more that I think about it, the more that this game is brought up, the more that I lean towards hating. I would probably give it a 4.5 out of 10, you know, in that realm, because I'm not the biggest fan of it. The Real MU says, it's not that deep, brother. This game is fun, and one guy's mod doesn't make a difference. There's also a difference between being lazy and lacking resources. No need to crap on Iron Galaxy. I'll crap on Iron Galaxy anyways. I personally don't like Iron Galaxy, and I don't really like what they've done with this game a lot. And I don't really like the argument it's not that deep, because in my mind, it's you refusing to take the conversation further. From a game that I have consistently played, I'm passionate for this game, okay? I love this game so much. So for me, it is that deep. It's a game that I care for, and it's a game that I think has been shit on multiple times. I mean, you see HD and 5, and also Ride and Tread. That one I see more as fully Activision's fault with those games. If you were to hear about the stories that happened on that side of things, yeah, but I believe that it is that deep to me and other THPS players that, you know, hold the same sentiment. Spending that cash says, you are miserable, dude. Go learn to be a game developer if you want to be able to be this critical. Or quit playing, but you won't do that either. You'll continue to sit and cry about how you know better than professional game developers. Professional.
Yeah, to wrap it up, I was going to say Iron Galaxy does a really good job of giving people a chance. So apply with this. If you don't have experience, a lot of us came with no actual formal experience.
Even if you're not something like a game developer or musician, you're still able to point out those small things in a game or a song that you don't like, that you think could be a lot better. There's a lot of musicians out there that people will still point out to have bad songs or bad parts in a song, even if they don't play music themselves or make songs. The same sentiment can be said over here, and it's proven with some of these new maps that they've made. It's very much not up to par to pro skaters' legacy with how Neversoft would make maps. Robomoto's maps for 5 aren't good, but at least they can flow. At least they'll have a line to follow. These new maps, they're so all over the place, especially like Water Park. The map barely flows from thing to thing. I'm not a big fan of Water Park or Pinball. I enjoy Movie Studio for what it is. I think the outside area of Movie Studio does pretty good in that department of flowing, especially with the train tracks. It's not train tracks, but you know, the rails that go around the map. Those are nice. And the ramps actually lead into something. Like if you air out of the ramp to do a grind, and then you'll jump onto another rail that actually leads to somewhere. And it's not really all over the place. Yanzi saying that we need a map pack. Would be nice to see some new maps, but I'm skeptical because of how these maps have played out so far. As I said, I'm not really a big fan of 2 of them. Water Park, you know, as a concept is really good, but I'm not a big fan of it. Movie Studio, the amazing concept. And the inside I'm not the biggest fan of, but the outside plays really well. Whereas Pinball, it's just the big thing that kills the whole map are the 2 active pinballs. I think that the map in concept could be cool without the balls, and also with a touch up on a lot of the lines, because the lines don't really work all too well. Not really a lot of flow, just randomly placed rails and stuff and things that don't really flow into each other all too well. I'm not a big fan of it. If you like them, awesome. And I'll say this, I think that Vicarious Visions were very passionate. I liked that game. I liked 1 and 2, but I feel like this game was just a job for Iron Galaxy. I don't think that it doesn't feel like they really cared for the game, because there's not really a lot of love and care for a lot of like the Pro Skater 4 stuff in my eyes. I don't feel like a lot of the missions there work. Compared to 3, they have the whole thing set out for you, so they had a whole thing there, but the Pro Skater 4, I feel like they threw out a lot of these missions just to make it a Pro Skater 3 experience. But the goals that they picked for it, I don't think were the best decisions. We got Adeline here. Hey, yo, what's up? Iron Galaxy only had 8 months to make this game. I have no clue what you expect with such a short deadline. I can't believe you actually think that one person who ported over 2 levels with no lighting did more than what IG did was able to put out. Very stupid tirade. I agree with the lighting. I've always said this, even from the start of THPS Pro. you know, over on 1 and 2, that the lighting is not that good. Even still, he opts for this day-night thing where you can do morning, noon, evening, night for changing the time of day, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. I really am not, because the lighting is not the best. It really isn't. So I agree with that. For 1 month, this guy was able to do all of this, but if we're talking about 8 months, they already have the layout of these maps set out for them. They're just remastering the maps, so they're redoing a lot of assets, they're doing a lot of things like that. So the maps are still there. They're just, you know, they're building onto it, you know, to redo a lot of these assets, the texturing, whatever it is. So they still can have a set group of people working on these missions while they're working on remastering the maps. I find it funny that they couldn't even do all of this, because one person versus a whole team. I don't know. I'm looking at the replies. Tyler saying 1000%. Everyone takes Andy THPS as some god, but he's a jaded a-hole. I'm having fun in the game. Fortnite, sue me. I don't really know what Andy THPS's take is on this game. I haven't really watched his live streams or videos all too much on this game. If he hates it, I don't know. If he loves it, I don't know. But I know that he played with all the characters, which props to him. I haven't interacted with the dude all too much, so all the interactions I've had with him, he's been fine to me, but like I said, I don't know. I don't really interact with him all too much, so I can't really say if he is or not. Oh my god. Tyler in the comment, you know, in the replies is replying to someone else about how water park and pinball are some of the best parks in the series. Movie studio is good, but not great. What? Oh my god, I have the complete opposite take from all these people. Maybe I don't know if Tyler's the only one, but I don't think these new maps are like that impressive or that much to write home about. The whole video is you whining. It's a ranting video. The video is me ranting. Yes, it's me whining. So of course I'm gonna be whining in a ranting video. I don't know. I say it from the beginning that it's a video that I'm ranting about. You know, I'm ranting about a topic that has got me annoyed. So yes, I agree. It is me whining. I will say I can't entirely blame Iron Galaxy. They had like 8 months to work on it. They did have 8 months. That is really short. I do agree. Stupid Activision, just somehow they're not able to have these people have a good amount of time to make one game, but I still believe that Iron Galaxy didn't really put all too much effort into a lot of these cases, into a lot of these things. Kyler here says the tutorial proves that they could have made Pro Skater 4's camp career. That's exactly what I was talking about at a certain point in my last video. I'm just waiting for them to mod the zoo with animals. You think they'll do that? I don't know. I don't know what Basty's intentions are or what he's going to do with 3 and 4, but I believe he's done that with 1 and 2's THPS Pro. I know Carnival, the map that he added to this from the original Pro Skater 4, did have animals. It did, you know, he brought in animals to this. So it's funny that he was able to add animals. They're probably stock, of course, but I don't know why they couldn't just use stock animals in Pro Skater 3 and 4. I don't know. Zoo has no animals. It's a zoo. It's a zoo and it has no animals. Carnival here does have animals. So, boom. Blake says this game would have sucked if it wasn't for the groundwork VV laid for Pro Skater 1 and 2. Yeah, it would have been much worse. It would suck balls. It only works as well as it does because it's built off of 1 and 2 directly. The older games, they were evolutions. You know, they evolved from each other. Pro Skater 4 to Underground, it evolved so much. Getting off your board, being able to do so much more with what your skater is able to do. Evolving the THPS 4 career into the campaign that has this whole story mode. You know, I mean, even like Pro Skater 3 to 4 was a big leap. Pro Skater 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. And this doesn't feel like an evolution in the slightest. It just feels like they lacklusterly added some of these random things like skitching. Skitching feels so weird in this game. It's so broken. If you look at your character, while they're sketching, their arms like they glitch all around. So there's a whole thing there that I'm not a big fan of. Heyadora says, even if they didn't want to have NPCs standing out to give you goals, they could have gone the THPS 4 PS1 route and have goal icons instead, similar to how they had you skating around San Fran to collect the other tutorial tapes. They chose the easy way out. I agree. Scorpion Fire USA says, I love the creative park, but the gameplay feels meh compared to Rethought, which I agree. If you want to play a game that is full of passion by everybody that helps make it, it's a mod for the PC version of Tony Hawk's American Wasteland called Rethought. This mod has so much. All of the different maps, I mean, they're still adding more maps as we speak. So THPS 1 through 8, Project 8, you know, all these maps with it. I mean, there's some missing that you wait a little bit for an update, and there might be some that they add, because every update they add maps. You know, there's gonna be so much in this next update. But I'm just giving you the smallest information about this game right now because, well, I have a lot of other videos on it. So if you're interested, check it out. B33D33 has a long one. Let's read this, okay? This is kind of cringe, maybe. The classic one man made this argument, which, you know, I think kind of stands in this particular event or situation. While they do deserve praise for their work, it's not the same as working with a publisher and having a whole team, schedules, and deadlines. Did Iron Galaxy mess up? Yes, but to bash them for something like this, it reflects on your character more than the developers, considering we all know they had less than a year to do this, and anybody that works in such an environment can tell you most staff didn't have much of a choice. Which, maybe it is me having a bad take on all of this. I don't know. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of this game, and I do put blame on Iron Galaxy because they were put in front of this game. And, you know, I feel like they could have done a lot more. If you don't like my character, I'm sorry. I'm just really passionate about these games. I understand that they were in a wacky, whatever the word is, predicament, where they were working for Activision. You know how that will go. It's always going to turn out into a shit show. But, you know, I like Tony Hawk games. I'm very passionate for them, so if it turns out bad, I have a lot to say about it. So even if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying what I believe and what I take as my own truth is that they were lazy and they could have done a lot more, which I personally believe they could have. You kind of sound like the guy hating all the cook at McDonald's when all they can do is the bare minimum because they're being paid the bare minimum, let alone they don't make the receipt and have no say in any of that. I know that McDonald's, I'm gonna get trash food and I'm gonna be competent with it because it's McDonald's. It's fast food. It was made within minutes. It was given to me within minutes. But this is taking a game, a beloved game that had so much passion and effort put into it. The original two of these games, they had so much passion put into these games. And now they're just going to shit out a random remake, if you can even say that, because they just completely dunked on Pro Skater 4, and they just shit it out within months. This is different between having a game that was full of passion versus just a random job that this studio just happened to make just because a certain publisher told them to. Which, of course, Activision is going to always probably go the cheapest route out and just get whatever studio. In this case, it was Iron Galaxy. And, well, of course, Iron Galaxy is going to want to do a big budget game. I don't know how much their budget was, but like this huge game to get it onto the resume to hopefully get more jobs. So I can understand that. But as a fan, I really wish it wasn't them because it doesn't really feel like this game is getting the love it should. To Iron Galaxy's defense, they did retexture all the maps, not all the maps, which is a double meaning, I guess, because they didn't bring over two of the maps that should have been in the game because they were from the original game. of 4, but also they picked up whatever work was done by Vicarious Visions before they were shut down, or just like before the whole project was canned originally. If you didn't know, Vicarious Visions already was working on a 3 and 4 kind of deal, so they already did a lot of work on some maps here and there. We don't actually know the ins and outs of what was actually being worked on by Vicarious Visions, but they did start it, so it wasn't all Iron Galaxy. So boom, that takes time, which is probably why they never got to do it. They never got to it on THPS Pro 1 and 2. It's much more easier to transfer the map than create it from the ground up or just retexture it. He's not wrong about that, about it being easier. He also did put it the extra mile to start adding a lot of these different goals from Pro Skater 4. They didn't do that, but this one guy did. Carver with, you see a guy, you talk to them, immediately the mission starts. Truly the best quote of all time. Thanks, Flippy. Thank you, Flippy. And then Spitfire, I'm happy you're speaking your opinion on this rather than shilling for any reason. We need younger players like you to voice this opinion and share it out like that. I swear this is not a paid opinion. This is not a paid comment. I like speaking out what I believe because shilling is kind of annoying, you know? At first, you know, when all these trailers were coming out, when the demo was coming out, I was fine with the idea of a 2-minute timer if they did it right, but the goals that they chose were terrible for 4, and the goals that they added for the pro goals, I'm not a big fan of at all. I think they did a terrible job with the pro goals. There were some that were good, like manual from the, or you know, combo from the top of the airport all the way to the bottom. Great goal. Pressing the skaters 5 times and what was it, 8 different times throughout the game. Yeah, very inspired. And one user says this company isn't just lazy, they also lack both. Oh, okay. This company isn't just lazy. They also lack both the programming skills and the basic knowledge required to build a game on a professional level. Wow. It's really pathetic considering the size of the company and its investors. I want to know the size of this company. Number of employees. Wikipedia is saying in 2021 they had over 200. Let's imagine they kept this number all the way up to 3 and 4. You're telling me 200 people couldn't have made Pro Skater 4's career mode, having specific people doing that, specific people doing the remasters of these levels? I'm sorry, but I feel like there was some poor mismanagement here. The director of something, whatever his name is, the guy that's always wearing a hat, he really just led this into a really dumb path. Why not have it be Pro Skater 4's original career mode as well as the classic mode? I feel like it wouldn't be that difficult. I know I'm not a game developer and people are going to be like, you can't just say that, you're not a game developer, you don't know how hard it is. They have the systems made for them. They already have the systems. They have the NPC system. Go to the tutorial. You walk up to a freaking VHS tape, you start a mission, and then once you do it, it's done, and then you go to the next. And they also have the system for Pro Skater 3 where it's 2-minute timer. You can increase it now, but 2-minute timer with a lot of these goals, 10 goals, but now 15 per map because pro goals, which there wasn't a lot of creativity with the pro goals. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this game, as you know, as you were able to hear, but you know, I was responding to your comments. I was trying to see what the community was talking about. That's really what I wanted out of that video. I wanted to start a conversation. I was loud. I was definitely loud about my opinion on the game and the studio. It was mainly just me trying to start a talking point for this whole thing about Pro Skater 3 and 4.
Yeah, so y'all fell into my trap.
But no, it was just me wanting to talk about 3 and 4. Actually get some people replying about this and getting people to you know, give me their opinions, because people will say blank opinions, or not just blank opinions, but small comments that don't really go further than just the average, no, they did good, no, they did bad. I love having actual conversations about this because I find it more fun and more engaging than a random yes or no. People like this game, keep loving it. I hope it does well so that we get another, but I kind of also don't want an Underground remake because they're going to mess it up. They couldn't even do Pro Skater 4's career, and they're going to dumb down all the jokes like they did with this game. So, boom. I don't have any trust with the Underground remake unless they give it to a different studio, because I don't trust Iron Galaxy for this game. That's about it. Stay at it.